Well, you know Dasher and Dancer and Prancer and Vixen, but I'd like you to meet Beauty and Belle, two 30-year-old Clydesdales who pull maybe the second most famous Christmas sleigh in Utah.
Dash and dance they don't, but Beauty and Belle are about as reliable a team as any Santa could want. They pull sleighs and wagons through this growing herd of wintering elk at the Division of Wildlife Resources Hardware Ranch.
Well, they come here because we feed them. The same reason we go to the coffee shop in the morning. A lot of these cows have been accustomed to coming in here for years and years, and so they habituate and they come in, bring their young, and so the cycle continues.
Every morning, including sub-zero mornings like this one, hay is spread in the pasture and the elk waste no time coming to breakfast.
We have a lot of purposes right now, but primarily we were established by the federal government to feed these elk so they wouldn't go down and do depredation and raid haystacks in Cache Valley. It's not foolproof, but at least we keep about 650, 700 busy up here through the winter.
The first 100 elk showed up with last weekend's storms, and more arrive every day. Soon the place will be filled with magnificent bulls such as these, showing off their male dominance. Feeding these animals is critical when their natural feed is buried in snow, and feeding them here in the mountains 17 miles east of Cache Valley keeps them out of farmers' haystacks. And it provides one of the best winter wildlife experiences for Utah families.
We're going to have about 51,000 of your closest friends and relatives up here till mid-March, and the revenue that we get with the fees for the sleigh rides and the outreach and education that goes on up here is just phenomenal. It's unique. The only other place we know that's anything close to it is the Elk Refuge up in Jackson Hole.
That elk is as big as me, isn't it? Look at that baby one. Look at it.
I love it.
Why?
It's exciting. I love the wildlife and the animals, and it's beautiful to see them in their natural habitat and see the moss on the horns. It's just a beautiful ride.
The sleighs began running this weekend and will run Fridays through Mondays all winter. Adults pay $5, kids under 9 pay $3, and kids 3 and under ride free. It's a lot of fun, but one warning, you might just learn something too.
I didn't know that they didn't stay here to have their young ones, that they go back up in the hills. I thought that they lived here all the time. So I'm glad to hear that they are wild, and it was interesting to see them.
They're very cool. I've never seen anything like it. My first elk experience.
Sure, we have generations that come back. Everybody comes home for Christmas and they love to run up the canyon here, jump on the sleigh and go out and see these elk, and you can see how close they are, and as they habituate and we feed a little more, this is the first day we fed, then they'll get closer and closer, and people do get a chance to see these wild animals up close and personal.
Yeah.
It's a big part of the heritage of the whole area.
Gary Jensen continues a family tradition. As a small boy, he helped his game warden father feed elk on the Cache Valley face. His dad helped establish Hardware Ranch as an elk preserve, and his brother also worked here. Jensen preserves the legacy and says this time of year the elk rides are truly special.
Santa Claus drives reindeer, but we drive these big horses and ride these big horned elk and stuff, and it makes you feel like you're part of Santa Claus, yes. As cold as it is and snowy, and it's really nice up here.
Hardware Ranch is 17 miles up Blacksmith Fork Canyon east of Hiram, about a 2-hour drive from Salt Lake.
Hardware Ranch is just a wonderful place for a holiday outing. Bring the whole family, and if you've got warm clothes, bring them too. Bring all of them. It can get chilly up here. For At Your Leisure, I'm Reece Stein at Hardware Ranch.